Good evening, my friend. Welcome to the show. I am Lou Mongello. It is Wednesday night. Once again, my favorite night of the week. Why, you ask? Not because it's the day after Taco Tuesday, but because I get to see you. If you are watching live, thank you so very much for joining me tonight. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join us here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern at WDW Radio Live. If you're watching live in the box, do me a favor, tag and invite a friend to come and watch with you, and then sit back, relax. Tonight, like every week, the show is all about you. Lots to talk about tonight, obviously, with not just Disney being closed, but now we have as of today, another 30 days here in Florida where at least we know that Disney is going to be closed. So I'm going to talk to you guys about bringing Disney home, right? How do we sort of get that fix? Hopefully this is one way you do it. How do we sort of get the Disney fix, satisfy that need, that craving? Yeah, dare I say the hunger. Boathouse, I'm looking at you. How do we satisfy the hunger? I have ideas. We'll get to that. And then I want to talk too about this week's show and our top 10 Disney heroines in honor of Women's History Month, which I think every month should be. I said this all the time. I don't think we need a specific day to celebrate women. Groundhog's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Arbor. Every day should be a celebration of those things. Every day should be Thanksgiving, in my opinion. Not just because it allows us to wear stretchy pants and eat everything we want, but because we can celebrate those people and remember those times that are important all year long. So, so I definitely want to talk to. I want to hear from you guys. We're going to take some of your calls, some of your comments as well. We'll start off talking about the 9,000-pound Colonel Hathey in the room, right? Disney being closed, and now we're seeing it's not, I would not necessarily think that May 1st is going to be a definitive opening date. We've talked about this over the past few weeks. So I want to really know from you guys, how are you dealing with it, right? So what are some of the things that you are doing to bring Disney into your day or your night and your life? I'll share some things that I'm doing, some ways and some friends that'll maybe help you bring that in. But I also want to hear some of your thoughts, some of your ideas, and how you're doing it. Because the one thing that this has done, look, I will, where is it, Mongello? Wait. Come on, Mongello. You got to have these things queued up so much more better than this. This is what happens when you do the show all by yourself. I don't know. Somewhere in here is a Choose the Good kind of logo. I can't find it. I must have deleted it by accident. Anyway, in the spirit of choosing the good, I will always find the positives out of like even a negative situation like this. And I think there are some. I think on the opposite side of this, we will come out better than we were before. But one of the things this has done is not only, I think, we're being told to socially distant, but I think this is bringing us closer together. And social distancing, I think, is the wrong term. It's understandable, it's applicable, because I don't think we're being asked to distance each other. So we want physical distancing, right? Not social distancing, because the opposite is happening of social distancing. I think we're coming together even more so. Look at you, not look at you, but I'm looking at you in this community, right? Look at how, and I hate buzzwords like engagement, but look at how I think engagement has gone up. Look at how conversation, real, meaningful, authentic conversation has increased. Not just because you're home and you're bored, but why? Because this really is a community. And where do you turn to when things are bad, right? You want to be surrounded by like-minded people that you know and you love and you trust, right? I think no like and trust is wrong. It should be no love and trust in this safe place. So I think that we are becoming less distant than more distant, not to go off on a somewhat. So Katie McNamara, you're 100%, right? It should be called physical distancing, not social distancing. Jason Knapp, right? We are coming together. This is, and I've said this before, right? Half jokingly that, there's so many things that have divided and separated and caused distances between us as people. And I used to say that we need like an alien invasion to bring us together. Well, this is the alien invasion, right? The alien invasion is in terms of this itty bitty teeny tiny little COVID-19 virus, but it's actually, what's it doing? It's bringing us together. It's bringing people closer, except when they're fighting for toilet paper. That's the only time that things get a little hairy. Other than the people fighting for toilet paper in Walmart, everybody else really is coming together. So physical distancing is, yes, it's not social distancing. I think that's really a positive that is coming out of this. I think that we are becoming closer with our family. I think we're becoming closer with our friends. I see people even becoming closer with their coworkers, right? Because the atmosphere and the pressures are different. And now maybe communicating with them via Zoom and sort of having this common mountain to climb together, right? We're sort of helping to lift everybody else up all at the same time. So I do believe that we are less socially distanced. I think we are more socially together. We're more physically distant, but we also can't participate in and go to and enjoy the things and the places that we love and do together, or even individually. Walt Disney World, I'm looking square at the face. Even closer, I'm looking at Magic Kingdom. I'm looking at Boat House, all the things that we've talked about. So I want to know. What some of the things are that you individually, or you and your friends, or you and your family are doing to bring Disney home, right? Wherever home may be, and whether you're alone or have family, what are some of the things that you are doing? And then I'll share some ideas. I'm going to sort of quickly scroll through the comments and see. Amanda Lacicero says, I made a list of the positives that could come out of this, and one of them is that I think people will... Oh, I lost the rest of your thing. Let's see. My cat wants me to go back to work already. Yeah, Judy Bennett. There's a lot of parents and kids who are like, can this thing just be over so we can all go back to our respective corners? Look, I love having the family here and family closer. But when you can't sort of go anywhere, we're all understanding, especially, again, like to all those teachers, I love and respect you, and to all those parents who have now been thrust into the role of educators, like my heart, my prayers, my hugs are with you, because I know how difficult that is. I'm fortunate that my kids are in high school. They're very self-sufficient. My son in the morning comes out of his room at 10 o'clock and he's like, I did all my homework. I've done all my classes. And then he goes back and does some online classes. So I'm grateful for that. So looking at some of your comments, and then if you guys want to call in, maybe we'll take some calls as well. Paul Donlin says he's looking at watching Disney fireworks on YouTube. He's also doing some Disney recipes at home. Dave Rashoni, of course, soundtracks, baby. I think Dave Rashoni isn't just listening to soundtracks, he's making soundtracks. He is making some soundtracks at home at djrmusic.com. Go check out some of the Disney covers that he has done there, and his sketches. I don't remember the name of the other CD as well. The redheaded Zach Brown says family vacation videos and park area loops. Right, we're going back, Zach, and we're looking at those buckets of pictures that we had, right? Some of those old videos that we haven't looked at in years. Again, I think bringing the family together by looking back at some of those memories. Eric Navarez is going back and finding his old souvenirs. I am as well, Eric. Of course, I'm just putting mine up on eBay, so that's the only difference. I'm finding tons of stuff that I forgot that I had. I found, as I was going through to list, I found there was two binders that I haven't seen in probably 10 years of papers and documents and old tickets and pre-opening stuff that I collected that I put in boxes when I moved, and I forgot that I had them there, and those will be up on eBay at some point as well. Steven Schmitz is building Disney World on Planet Coaster, which I believe is a virtual theme park type of game. Making mouse ears and painting Disney characters, says Lynette Weaver-Jones. Angie Lane Robinson is drawing Disney characters via Disney Parks blog. Lots of sketching. So Angie, huge kudos to the Disney Parks blog. I think they have done a fantastic job of not only they're not sort of recycling old content, but what they're doing is they're creating content that's not just for us to consume, but allows us to create as well. So I think they've done 2 how to draw videos. I know that they've done one for Mickey. Marvel has done it as well. My friend Brian Crosby, who works for Marvel, has been on the show before, did a how to draw Spider-Man maybe a week or so ago. They've posted things like the Dapper Dan's video. They just posted the video of the opening the doors literally at the Walt Disney Imagineering headquarters on Flower Street in Glendale, literally getting to let you peek behind the curtain to see what happens in Imagineering. They just released, I believe, yesterday or today, some ebooks you can download like for free. I think one of them is Conceal, Don't Feel. It has a bit of a Frozen reference to it, or a very big Frozen reference to it. And obviously we've talked a lot about the Imagineering in a Box at Khan Academy, the Imagineering lessons that are geared towards kids and students, but I'm even finding that adults are fascinated. Can't say enough good things about it. I knew a few people in the box have been talking about it. Lisa Noel Glasser has kids who are, I believe, 9 and 7, and she said they're just they're mesmerized by not just the content, but by the quality in there as well. Michelle Carter is doing a Zoom exercise class. Thank the good Lord for Zoom. Where would we be without you? I've been a Zoom user for years, and I cannot say it's such a powerful platform. They're not taking advantage of the situation by raising prices. They're doing a lot to make it more accessible, even to more people. So whether it's wanting to get on the phone with a group of friends and just as if you were, getting together in somebody's house, or you want to use it for team meetings in business, Zoom is a fantastic resource. It's free for up to X number of participants. I think I want to say 20 participants for 40 minutes, something like that. But even the paid plans are very, very inexpensive. Angie Castle says, my Disney Magic is putting together the Cinderella Castle Lego set. That should probably take you the entire quarantine time. I hear that thing is, it's super fun, but it takes a long time. Maggie says, I'm listening to you a lot. Maggie, I'm so sorry, but grateful. A lot of Disney Plus, watching ride videos. We're going to talk about Disney Plus. As if on cue, Lisa says we're burning candles. Love the Imagining the Box course by Khan Academy. A lot of people are. And we'll talk about some of the things that some friends and fellow members of the community are doing that you can bring home as well. A lot of Disney Plus in here. Chat is going by very fast, so I'm catching up. Julia's making a lot of Mickey waffles a lot lately. One thing I'm thankful for, my daughter being older, is she's super creative. She's a great cook, and she's been doing a lot of cooking and baking at home. Nancy Trinchida is watching all the Marvel movies nonstop, back to back, mano a mano. We've watched 4 so far. Love the quality family time. Again, choosing the good, right? The good that's coming out of this is the quality family time that we're getting to spend together. Father Christmas says, I've stockpiled Disney snacks. He's the guy. He's the guy that's been hoarding snacks, packaged popcorn, and turtles. Now is the time to break into them. Desperate times call for desperate measures, Father. So I agree. A lot of people Marvel movie marathons. Darlene Nagy, today was a beautiful day to go ride your bike to the mailbox. I'm assuming your mailbox is not at the end of your driveway. Otherwise, that's the worst bike ride ever. And then make a round trip around the neighborhood. Katie Laughlin says, look, my son is 1. I'm just looking to have this gift to be able to spend a time with him. Again, you make the positive out of the negative as well. John Lang is designing a new Disney-inspired monorail clothes, planning some future Disney bounding, right? So when we get to go back to the parks, we're so excited to go back, starting to think about some of the plans, and it's never too early to start planning, whether it's your costume or your itinerary. Boathouse, I'm coming for you. YouTube videos, let me see. Watching the new Disney cooking show, which I saw a few minutes of on Disney Plus. Katie's also listening to a lot of Disney music. Kelly Milos is doing a lot of Disney puzzles. In theory, I wanted to sit down and do a Disney puzzle. Time is not been my friend. A lot of Disney Plus Sorcerer Radio, Disney Plus. Liz Mastrangelo says, I started a Disney blog and a Disney-based Instagram. Good for you, right? You finally have the time and the reason to do the thing you've probably been thinking about doing for a long time, which is not just consuming, but creating. If you want to link either or both of them here, please feel free to go ahead. Bill Swan, listen, Bill Swan knows how to suck up more time to run. Forget that part. And listen to WDW Radio podcasts. Beatrice Dennis also said, I wish our teens came out of at 10 o'clock with classrooms done. Excuse me, that's awesome. I hope it continues, Beatrice. It's going to be a long month, trust me. Nancy's also teaching her sons to cook and bake, life skills. Again, this is the perfect time to go ahead and do that. Becky says, I'm rebooking vacations, including my own Club 33. She's coming for you. Just everybody get out of her way at the Club 33 door because she's going to be coming in and coming hard. Chris Bannis is bidding on things. I think, it's funny because in some respects, people are tightening their belts and saving more. And I think in other ways, we're spending more, right? Because we want to, one, we're bored, right? Or you want to just sort of get some of those things home just to make you feel good. Did I mention my eBay auctions? The first round is up. A lot of Star Wars stuff kicking off. And then we'll get into some Disney stuff again next week. Eddie Current says, Lou, Magic King walkthroughs are on Amazon Music. I had no idea. So there you go. That's fine. They're also available on iTunes for just $10 each. My family has to eat too. So Tina's reading The Vault of Walt by Jim Korkis. A lot of Disney Plus. A lot of puzzles. Chris, the porthole is in the garage. I haven't figured out what to do. I know in theory what I want to do, but the execution of it is going to be something different. So I have a feeling it's just going to stay in my garage for a long, long time. Some people are saying that they used to, the podcasting industry is as a whole, the numbers are down, right? Why? And because I have friends and people that I coach who are podcasters and they're freaking the freak out. And I'm like, listen, the only reason why numbers may be down, first of all, stop checking your numbers, focus on the people who are there. But the only reason why your numbers may be down is because people are spending less time in their cars, right? Because they're not doing those commutes back and forth on the car, bus, or train to work. So you can't think about the numbers. Again, focus and be grateful for the people who are already there. James DeZern, good to see you as well. Katie says the look into Imagineering is awesome. Wish they were longer. I think we'll be seeing more of those. I agree. I wish that was something that was a little bit more of a deeper dive. However, that is something that when you do Backstage Magic, which we've done as an Adventures by Disney twice now, one of the places you get to go and walk through for longer than 5 minutes, I assure you. And it is one of the most impactful and, yes, even moving experiences as a Disney fan I've ever had, to be able to walk through the halls and into the vault of Walt Disney Imagineering. I will never spoil for you some of the things you get to see, but there was a moment, and if anybody here was with me or has done it before, you know that moment when they reveal something to you and the air comes out of the room and then people lose it because it is truly one of a kind. It literally has Walt's, handprint and imprint on it. It was a special little surprise. Paul's listening to back-to-back podcasts of WDW Radio with Lou Mongello. Paul, what's been the best episode you've listened to, or anybody that you've listened to as you've been going through, if you've been going through the back catalog? Because most of the shows are intentionally evergreen. Yes, there are some that may be about festivals or holidays, but for the most part, I want to make them so that you can go back and listen. Let's see. Kevin Lively says, actual Imagineering happening at home, because Kevin is one of the incredibly talented and super, super nice folks that works over at Walt Disney Imagineering. Keep doing what you do, brother. Sincerely appreciate you. And we're going to connect in the parks one of these days when they're open again. Jason Knapp, you are doing the right thing, my friend. You are just sitting down and watching Lost and creating magic over at herewiththemagic.com. I'm going to get to all the plugs for all the stuff that you guys are doing. Let me see. Oh my God, I'm so far behind. A lot of people talking about enjoying their time on Zoom. No, Katie, I do not think this was a conspiracy by Zoom, but, the Lego castle took your son 24 hours. That's crazy awesome. Like, there's 80,000 pieces in there, something like that. Like, good for him. Jason says planning the next Disney trip is a great idea. Let me see. A lot of people working from home. Disney Plus, a lot of Disney Plus. Michael Goldtrap is setting out his monorail model set. Michael, you gotta post a photo of it in the Box People group. Actually, one of the things I am selling, which I hate to get rid of, and I'm not going to do it on eBay because it's got to be somebody local, is I have years ago when Disney used to sell the monorail tracks, they also sold attractions. And I have a huge, maybe 3-foot tall Cinderella Castle. There's a Haunted Mansion, a Dumbo. I think there's a teacup. There's 5. So we have the Contemporary, the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, and the castle, and 3 attractions that go with the monorail trains that we used to put around the tree. We just haven't done it anymore, and I want to get it to a family that's going to be able to use it. So if you're local and interested, let me know. You can come by and pick it up as long as we stay 6 feet away from each other. Let's see. I need to be a judge on the new Disney cooking show. I need to be a taste tester. James is watching Main Street USA videos. Jeremy Goff spends most of his time watching Terry Rex videos. Jeremy, you need to get out of the house. It will drive you insane. Shay Jones has me looking into booking a Disneyland trip. Shay, make sure you go to our friends over at MouseFan Travel. They will help you out at no cost to you. They are good people doing good stuff. Becky's in the box. Reach out to her directly and she will help you out. Carrie's Ray is doing her homework. Oh, yeah, you are doing homework. And you're watching Lost. What season are you on? Without giving too much away. Lisa is working on her social medias, her magical Disney diaries. LizzieLovesDisney.com. I dig. 2 posts so far. Good for you. Tweet is, I guess she's reading her book. The Black Spire Outpost. I guess are you reading the comic book, or is it? Or there's a novel, I believe, too, right? Beatrice listened to the cruise podcast from New Orleans, and I plan and look ahead to our next cruise, the Marvel Day at Sea. Listen, I cannot tell you how excited I am for that. We are going to need that cruise so much, and January will be here before you know it. So Mike Sizemore says, I lay in the porch swing and listen to Lou Mongello. Mike, I kind of want to see a selfie of that tomorrow. I want to see you in the porch swing with a tall, cool glass of lemonade in your hand and somehow show me that you're listening to the show. And I will send you something. I don't know what I have that you want, but I will send you something. Let's see. Mike Beckerman says, for the nostalgic in me, I've been watching The Day at the Magic Kingdom, Day at the Epcot Center, Day at the MGM Studios, all from the 90s. Good stuff. I too, Michael, am in a nostalgic mood. I was actually going back. I was going back to listen to the Charlie Ridgway interview and walkthrough that we did at the studios when I think it was for the 30th anniversary. I love Charlie so much on a personal level as well as a professional level. I knew him for a long, long time as I was just beginning my journey when he was still working there, and then we shared the same publisher, and I got to know Charlie on a personal level very well, and he passed away just a couple of years ago, and it was really, really, really just a good man, and that's the highest compliment that I can give to him. Anthony Flacco, I'm Wacko from Flacco, says, I just started the 7th Continent board game. Didn't realize what each character begins with symptoms. Yeah, a lot of people playing games. And there's also, what's the game on the App Store? It's like Virus, Contagion or something, like people say, or Pandemic, something like that. It's very much in alignment with things that are going here. Maria just listened to the one which was Becky's very first appearance. Maria, do me a favor. I don't remember what number that is, but if you can put that in the comments, everybody should go back and listen to Becky's first appearance. Because if memory serves me correct, this is like the dream sequence. Poor Becky was so like shy, and she was a little awkward, a lot of awkward, and now like you've come a long way, baby. Our relationship has come a long way. Becky says, I'm ignoring my post again. Later he's going to yell at me because he will think I was here and blew off Wednesday in the box. No, I see that you're there. I see that you're there. Look, I gave you love and all kinds of mouse fan love. Look, I'll even put the big thing up again. Look, see? This one. Wait. That one. Jason planned on losing 25 pounds during the temporary unemployment, 35 to go. Jason, you need to share how in the world you are doing that. I am putting on my COVID-15, like my freshman 15, faster than like the guy from Austin Powers. I can't stop eating. Like late at night, I'm sitting down and I'm like, oh, look, a family-sized bag of insert chip name here with all the salty goodness. 8 minutes later, I look down and there's nothing left. And I'm like, this was not supposed to go this way. I was not supposed to eat this all that fast. Let's see. Wow, I'm so far behind. I'm scrolling down as fast as I possibly can for everybody who is commenting. Zach Brown is working on his latest podcast episode on bringing the magic home. It's the Zach Brown Show. Is that correct? I believe. Zach, you got to send me some cover art, man, so I can plug it for you. Zach Brown's a good kid doing good stuff. Terry Cincinnati says, watching Terry Rex videos is a perfect way to spend quarantine time. Rawr. I'm not going to... Yes, it is. Where can I get the free ebooks? You can go to the Disney Parks blog, and they do have them available there. I don't have a link to it, but it was... Actually, I think I did link to it in the Box People group, but if anybody has it and wants to post in the comments, certainly you can. You know, you can also get your free 102 Things to Do at Walt Disney World at least once book free at WDWRadio.com just by subscribing to the newsletter. I don't have a graphic for that one either. Woefully unprepared because I didn't know I was going to talk about it tonight. Let's see. Let me keep catching up here. Ken Kleiner finally watched The Rocketeer. I love that movie. Just so it's so overlooked. Just listen to the 2012 podcast about it with the fabulous Jim Korkis. Yeah, there are so many little tributes to The Rocketeer spread throughout the parks, primarily Disney's Hollywood Studios, but there is a lot to find. Pamela Bart says, Lou, you really didn't sound like you on your very first episode. Pamela, do not go back and listen to the first episode. 6.5 minutes of pure, unadulterated torture. I sounded so like monotone, and I was reading because I was so nervous, and it took me like forever to record it. But hopefully we've all come a little bit from there. And look, on cue, Ryan Donahoe says, I wake up every morning and listen to episode 1 of WDW Radio. I won't talk to my kids till the episode. Ryan Donahoe from the Forcecast. If you're a Star Wars nerd, and really who isn't, go check out the Forcecast. Ryan is, again, good people doing good stuff. Maggie Haggard says, I went down the Tiger King rabbit hole on Netflix. Such an addictive train wreck. Jeremy Goff, Link, I saw your, wasn't it you who drew the Pooh-inspired Tiger? Everybody keeps talking about the Tiger King. I think I need to watch it. Like, there's so many things that I want to watch in my queue. I just finished watching Dark on Netflix. That did not pay off at the end. That was a lot of subtitles and overdubs to sit through, not for a payoff. But Paul Clark, it was one of many that I have recorded in my basement. So I liked when I would say for the week of on the podcast. Yeah, so Eddie, there was a choice that I made at some point, maybe 10 years ago, to, one, make the podcasts evergreen, right? So that they were not time sensitive, because I want people to be able to go back and listen. And two, I didn't want somebody to go back a month, a week, a year later and hear me talking about news that wouldn't be relevant. So that's why I broke out the news to the Wednesday night live shows, because what did it do? It made it timely, it made it relevant, more importantly, it made it conversational. I didn't want to just broadcast the news and you listen to it and then maybe I like the idea of, in this environment, talking about what was going on, much the same way we do now, and then being able to get the immediate feedback or even call-ins as well. So it's definitely the reason why I broke them out. I broke them out wildly. So yeah, Jeremy Goff, the Tigger King. Go ahead and link that up. Link that post up there so you can see it. Jeff Shea, another guy doing like amazing stuff. Jeff, I've never seen up until this week your whittling and your woodworking, and now all of a sudden the beard and stuff all makes sense because you are a woodsman, wood person, whatever. I get it now. Jeff also does the Manly Pinterest blog. If you're a Pinterest person or you want to be one, go check out the Manly Pinterest blog. Again, good people doing really, really good stuff. Jim O says, am I the only one who thinks the Tiger King just gives you the heebie-jeebies? I just feel dirty watching it. And from what I understand, like it takes place here in Central Florida somewhere. Just so you know, if you've never been outside the bubble and you sort of venture in different directions, you know, a half hour or so, Florida is a very different place than the Walt Disney World that you know and love. Trust me. Lori Zimmerman McDevitt says, I left the New Kids on the Block Facebook Live to come to Lou's Facebook Live. That means more to me than you know. I couldn't tell you any songs that New Kids on the Block sing. I think I do, but I'm not going to start singing them because you don't want to hear that either. But thank you. Thank you. Jason says, now watch the movie. I'm not sure what movie you are. Watch Parasite. Is that the one? Is that the foreign language film that won Best Picture? I have so much to catch up before. Chris Shepard says, to help with cabin fever, I shared a video of a magic show I performed before the outbreak. So I haven't seen it yet, but I know Chris. He's an awesome guy. He's linked he linked it up there. Go check it out. And I will as well when I am done here. So, what are some of the other things that we're doing, right? So, again, ways to get the Disney fix at home. So we'll talk about Disney Plus, and I want you to start thinking about what is the best thing that you've seen on Disney Plus, whether it's an oldie but goodie, like a movie that you haven't seen in a number of years, like who's gone back and watched things like Treasure Planet, Treasure Island, Herbie Rides Again, Hot Lead and Gold Feet, The Apple Dumpling Gang, Swiss Family Robinson, 20,000 Leagues, some of the classics from the 60s, or maybe tuned in and found one that maybe you never heard of before, The Cat from Outer Space, and just found like this hidden gem on Disney Plus. Share it. Share what your Disney Plus hidden gem or favorite thing is. So Melissa's saying Frozen 2. Just Google Florida Man. Jeff Shea, Mandalorian. I can't wait for the next season to come out. Mike Camp. Love Mike Camp and all the camps. Rocketeer. Stargirl. I've never heard of that. Escape to Witch Mountain. Laura, I need to go back and watch the original again, not the Rock remake. Josh Olive, man, I agree with you. Treasure Planet was underrated. If you've never seen Treasure Planet before, my kids, especially my son, used to love that, and we watched it late seriously, I have no idea what day of the week it is today. I'm like Spider-Man. Like, this is me. If it wasn't Wednesday night, I wouldn't know that it was Wednesday night. Like, if it wasn't box night, I wouldn't know tonight was Wednesday. So whatever night it was, we went back. Treasure Planet is a beautifully animated movie. And the next one I want to go back to is to see Atlantis. I want to watch Return to Atlantis as well. Mickey Mouse Club, Paul Clark. I haven't seen any of those. Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, the original Parent Trap. Stephanie Perry Bullock. Obviously, the Imagineering Story may be, with Mandalorian, the two best things on Disney Plus. Like, not even close. Not even close in terms of original content that was that's being created there. Hannah Lynn Kennedy's watched 20,000 Leagues under for the first time. That was my James Mason impression, by the way. In case you missed it, ICMY, whatever. In case you missed it, that was me doing James Mason. It's almost as bad as my King Candy, which I need to watch Wreck-It Ralph again, too, just to see how bad my King Candy impression is. Heather's also watching That Darn Cat, Swiss Family Robinson. Sarah Senor Bull, I remember Swiss Family Robinson like being a slow burn. Like the first act was a little slow, but it's also probably been 30 years since I watched it. But Kevin, yeah, I want to introduce like my kids to the classics and some of the ones that I haven't seen. And I think now, again, the beauty and the benefit of this quarantining is that maybe they're more open to sitting down and saying, yeah, let me see some of the things that you've watched in the past that maybe they've heard us talk about for years. And if they don't like it, fine. At least let's give it a shot and see. Because for me, watching things like Swiss Family Robinson, That Darn Cat, Cat from Outer Space, the many cat movies of the 60s, is going to be like watching them the first time because I'm watching them for the first time in 30, 40 years. Well, I'm old. And with adult eyes, and with my kids. Beatrice Dennis watched Tron for the first time. I'm assuming you mean the original 1982 Tron Spectacular, by the way. Let me know what you think. Carrie loved 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Thank you very much. So good. So good. So Chris Anderson, right? 20K, Rocketeer, loving those period piece movies. I love the 20s setting of the Rocketeer and the costumes and the music. It's so overlooked. So Amanda, I haven't seen Legend of Zorro, and I don't think there's any Zorro on there, right? I think there's a licensing thing with Zorro. If anybody knows specifically, Darby O'Gill and the Little People, I intended to watch around the St. Patrick's Day time, but there was this whole virus thing really getting in the way. Shay Jones watched WALL-E again. I think WALL-E is, and I think I need to do like a top 10. Look, we just did top 10 Disney heroines, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But overall top 10 movies, WALL-E is up there. I think WALL-E is spectacular storytelling. When you can do it without a single word being spoken, that's what animation is supposed to be. Kathy Berry, hello. Gus, the field goal kicking mule, was the first thing you watched. John Lang. When they launched Disney Plus and they're looking at all the stats and they scroll all the way down to the bottom and go, wow, there's one guy that watched Gus today. Who's that guy? Oh, John Lang. Talk about an obscura. Although, if you do any of the D23 or the Backstage Magic tours of Adventures by Disney, they'll take you into the animation buildings on the studio lot, and there is a Gus the field goal kicking, or at least there was, Gus the field goal kicking mule display in one of the hallways. Let's see, a lot of people liking, a few other people talking about Atlantis. I don't think it gets enough love. Meet the Robinsons, Stephen Schmitz. I love Meet the Robinsons. It's not the strongest film, but there's parts of it that I really, really like. A lot of people, Mandalorian, Candle Shoe, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That's the one, kids. Get off your phones for 5 seconds, and we're going to watch Bedknobs and Broomsticks. We were flipping through the other day, and one of my kids was like, wait a minute, that's the dad from Mary Poppins. Is this like a sequel? I'm like, no, he just played a dad in a different Disney movie, too. The Incredible Mr. Limpet with who? Who was in it? Don Knotts as Mr. Limpet. Black Hole needs... Rob James, listen, I'm with you on Black Hole, man. I've got little Black Hole. Where is he? Where's Vincent? I've got a Vincent up there. I've got a Vincent back here somewhere. Boy, that ending is weird. Whew, man, that's weird. Kate loves WALL-E. A lot of people dig in on WALL-E. I think we've been talking about this, for anybody who's a member of the WDW Radio Nation family, I think we're gonna do a live watch party for some Disney Plus films. I think maybe we'll start with Onward. Like, I know it comes out on Disney Plus on Friday. So maybe in the next week or so, we'll do a WDW Radio Nation watch party. For certain levels and up, we'll sort of get together on a Zoom call, and we'll just, count down, and we'll just start it, and we'll just sort of watch and comment together, which I think would be fun to do. Let's see. Jesse McCullough, see, this is why I like you. You started with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Like, screams, 90s. All the Spider-Mans are on there except for the best one. The 67 series is not there. Again, it's a licensing thing. That was the one that I really grew up with. Becky, you never saw The Black Hole, and you wonder why. Becky, listen. You'll like The Black Hole, right? It's very dark in certain areas. The villain is very twisty, which you'll also like. It has this very sort of creepy, and you'll dig it. It's campy, 80s, but it's awesome. And Slim Pickens is in it. He plays Bob. Poor Bob. Bob has the shakes. I love that movie. And I think I still have. I need new shelves at some point, but I have a Maximilian figure back there as well. Yeah, Chris, I believe Black Hole is still on Disney Plus. But what are some of the other things that you're watching, right? So we're talking again that the topic tonight was this idea of bringing Disney home. What are some of the different ways that we are bringing Disney home? But I think that there's other ways to sort of bring not just the Disney movies, but more importantly, the Disney parks, which are so close yet so far. I think we all miss them. So what are some of the ways that you're getting your Disney park experience at home? Obviously, the Imagineering story is a great connector. Go back and see if you can find on, they might even still be on YouTube. I think you could buy them on Amazon. They're like super cheap. There were the Disney parks videos from the early 2000s. I know Jason Knapp, he's still here. Let's see. Anthony Perk. Oh, right. Anthony Perk was in it. I just saw. Yeah, Jason. Maximilian's in the garage. You mean you have a Maximilian in your garage, or Maximilian's in my garage? And if so, how do you know? And if you have a Maximilian, is he mint on card? Because if so, we might need to talk. But that being said, Jason does something called Here with the Magic. Again, these are sort of ambient videos of the Disney parks. It's not POV ride-throughs. It's not, reviewing things and showing you foods. What it's doing is it's bringing the parks to you as if you were just sitting on a bench and watching it go by. So whether it's this view of Tom Sawyer Island and the castle in Liberty Square and just hearing the sounds and ambient audio, if it's watching World Showcase and hearing the taiko drummers in the background, if it's sitting at Nomad Lounge and looking over at the water towards Pandora. Jason, what do you have? I think 20 some odd videos or something up. Some are short form, so you can consume them pretty quickly. Others are long form. You put them up on your TV. They're available on YouTube and Facebook, and just let them play in the background. And it sort of gives you that sensation, whether you're working or playing or teaching the kids. It's just sort of an hour long of Main Street USA or Animal Kingdom Lodge or, Epcot. He just did one of the Descent of Spaceship Earth the other day. It's a really neat way to bring that to you, right? So in terms of watching, you've got those videos, you've got Disney Plus, you've got all the movies. I think a lot of people, what they're doing too is they're getting creative. Let's get the important things out of the way, like how do you get the Disney food home to you? So I know a lot of people are posting Disney recipes. They're creating and trying to recreate some of their favorite dishes at home. We're going to do something in the Box People group later on this week where I want you to share either your Disney recipes or your photos of your Disney-inspired foods. I'll maybe post that tomorrow, so get some of those photos together as well. Thanks to everybody who's been downloading the podcast. I think this is a great way to not just go back and listen and catch up, especially if you haven't been listening since 2005, and I'm assuming that not everybody has. Again, most of the shows are evergreen. This is where I really do, I need your help, though, to spread the word about the show and let other people know about it. So when you go back and you find an episode that you like, do me a favor, share it out, link to Apple Podcasts or the episode number on the WDWradio.com website. Maybe invite a friend who's never heard of the show before to tune in and listen. So we've got things you can watch, things you could listen to, things you can taste, right? So I'm sort of going, set all the sort of the different senses. So we've got watch, listen, taste, smell is so important. My friend Lisa over at the Castle Run also does core memory candles. She's got a series of, Lisa, if you're here, 30 or so different candle scents that really sort of are inspired by not just the things you would think about like popcorn on Main Street, but the different resorts and some of the different locations throughout. And whether you burn them in your office or in your kitchen, there is something that is not just stirs up those memories, but is very comforting about that. I don't know how else to sort of describe it, but you smell it, and that's not just because it makes your house smell pretty, but it does remind you of an attraction, a place, a memory that you have of going to the parks. We keep them sort of burning in our kitchen all the time. She also has a series of wax melts. So if you don't want to maybe have a candle burning, I never even knew that my wife had a wax melter apparatus thing, but there's this thing in the kitchen and it just smells so nice. And we always like sort of playing and trying to identify, we sort of close our eyes and trying to identify what each of the smells are from or what that makes us think about. And oftentimes it'll spark a memory, and my family and I will share that memory together. So she's over at corememorycandles.com. In terms of listening to, I think a lot of us probably have Spotify. There's an incredible amount of music available and Disney Parks playlists over on Spotify as well. Listen, one of the things I see too is the incredible amount of creativity that people that are bringing out in people. I was never I'm not like a big meme guy, but kudos to all of you who are creating, right? So Jeremy posted, I think you posted the link to that Winnie the Pooh inspired meme about the tiger thing, but a lot of people are also creating both memes and photos and videos and recreations of attractions. They're doing song parodies about, look, the virus is nothing to laugh about, but we're trying to sort of, make light best that we can. There's some incredibly smart and talented people who are creating videos. I know Michael Does Disney is one. Somebody actually sent me one tonight, and they're literally in the process of, and I'm checking my uploads folder now, they're uploading the full res version of this incredibly funny and so well done. This young girl did a video recreation of a ride. I won't spoil what it is, but as soon as it's ready, I'll post it in the Box People group. I love that. I love seeing the creativity. I love seeing friends come together or families come together, and when they can't get the experiences at home, they're not just creating it and sharing it with their family and friends, but they're sharing it with us as well. And I love doing everything I can. Look, if you've done something that you want to share out, whether it's a picture, a meme, a video, a product, a t-shirt, or whatever, again, we're the people that I am plugging and endorsing, or I do it because I like them and I like their stuff, and we're community. I want to help you guys out too. So if there's something out there that he is going to kill me right, what is Becky doing when I'm not looking? This is what happens when I look away. This is why she can't be trusted. You need supervision and guidance all the time. I am so nervous. And now I'm trying to scroll back. Chrissy has a diffuser with oils that smell like the Contemporary, other resorts. Do you have one that smells like Pirates of the Caribbean? I think she does, Paul. I think she actually does have, and it might even be Flight to the Taj Mahal. No, I think that there's one. I used to call it the musty water smell. If anybody wants to link up the top 10 smells of Walt Disney World, that's a blast from the past. I remember being afraid to call it the musty water smell because nobody was going to get it. I was like, I know exactly what you mean. She doesn't call it musty water, but oh wait, Becky is thinking of posting top 10 Lou Mangello moment in the nation or the Box People group. Do it. Have at it, Becky Mankin. I am. Listen, we're all family here, and more importantly, Becky, I trust you. So you do what you think is right. She loves when I say that. Not really. But go ahead, have at it. Listen. Marcus Val says Spanish Forky might even be better than Spanish Buzz. Ken loved the Dapper Dan's video that was posted. That was awesome as well. Susie Bernardo, I agree. The creativity of the community has really been outstanding, and I love to try and share that out as well. Katie loves the musty water smell and Splash, Pirates, Small World. You're right; they all do have it. Chris Shepard, show 75, the top 10 smells of Walt Disney World, which I've never repeated a show. That might be one that might bear repeating. So what are some of the things that we're doing? Are you shopping more or are you shopping less? I am getting differing answers and opinions here because some people are like, listen, we shouldn't be shopping because the economy and money is tight and maybe we're not working or getting as much coming in. Other people are like, I'm bored. I'm scrolling through eBay. I'm buying off the Shop Disney Parks app and site left and right. I almost didn't put my eBay auctions up. I'm like, is this the wrong time? Like, I almost felt bad. Like, would people be able to do it? But I think a lot of people are like, just sort of scrolling around, or you go on Disney Plus and you see Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. You're like, oh, I need to get that Spider-Man figure that I had when I was a kid. So a lot of people are saying that they're shopping less. Although a lot of things that we used to go out shopping for, now we can't. Now we have no other choice but to do it online. Although I'm so sad, and I understand why. Amazon Prime, like, you can't get anything like in a day anymore. And if it's not an essential thing, like my son needed a cable for his computer, and it's taken like 8 days to get here. So the one thing I know that we're trying to do though is, we're cooking a lot at home, but we're also trying to support, and I mentioned this other night on I think it was the Nation call, we're shopping less, but we're trying to support local businesses more, especially the restaurants, which we know are like hurting so bad. So even if it's like going out to the local there's a little ice cream gelato place here that will go, you can't sit outside. All the chairs are tied up and pushed off to the corner, and everything's in a to-go cup. But, a lot of kids work there, high school kids, and it truly is a small, small business. So I want to go there and help them out. And more importantly, be more generous with tips for those kids because they're in there working, they're not in school, and I know how much it means to them. And when this is all over, there's some local businesses and some local restaurants that I'm going to invite you to get out of your comfort zone, get out of the bubble, get out of even the Disney space, and sort of come, 5 minutes outside of Disney and check out some of these other restaurants who are just, like I said, they're good people who are doing good things as well, and some amazing grilled cheese. Just FYI. What else? Playing games more, right? I think we're playing a lot more games on our phone. I know a number of you are playing. There's a new Disney Arena game that a lot of people are playing on their phone. I haven't had a chance to check it out. I also think we're playing a lot more games at home. A lot more board games are coming out. I hear a lot of people talking about the Villainous card game is one that their friends. We just did Disney Monopoly the other night. My daughter took my advice over the years way too much to heart, and now she is cutthroat and she is killer and she wins all the time. Lori Oliveri, you say hot pot, I say I'm in. I'm down for some hot pot anytime, all the time. James has earned. I know we've never gone this long without eating out, right? We take it for granted, like the importance of eating out and socializing. Kristen Furman Simmons would love to hear a top 10 off-property restaurants to help that support those businesses when I get back to Walt Disney World. Kristen Furman Simmons, it's an amazing idea. The only problem is I won't be able to do that with Tim Foster because the only off-property restaurant I think he's ever gone to is Golden Corral, and I'm not kidding. Like when his parents would come down here, like I'd be like, "Come on, Tim, let's go to Boat." He'll yell at me that we don't go to Boathouse or Blues Zoo, but he's like, "I'm going with my mom and dad to Golden Corral because they got the chocolate fountain." So Golden Corral probably won't make the list, spoiler alert, but I think we can certainly do that as well. Brett Meeks went kayak fishing with Matt. I love everything about that sentence except that I wasn't there too because I love the Meeks. I love kayaking, although I don't get to do it much. I used to go fishing with my dad. You're going to make me cry. And you guys know that you are, well, you know who my favorite Meeks is. So let's just leave it at that. Becky says, Disney Arena Group. We have a group called the WDW Radio Clubhouse. Just search and ask to join. I've got it. So it's a Maria Thorpe. It is a mobile device game for your phone, but I have just not had a chance to play as well. What else? I think other people, you know what I see a lot of people doing too as well at home is they're finally getting around to doing those things that have been on the to-do list for ages. Like they're getting more organized. I spent 3 days, I kid you not, 3 days in my garage, taking everything out, going through it, making my eBay piles, making the donation piles. We just donated a ton of stuff to the local Goodwill. And really trying to get things organized. I like things just sort of where they are, despite the way my shelves look in the back. Like, even like things with photos. You know, my wife, when her mom passed and we had to clean out her house, we literally moved 27 plastic tubs filled with pictures. I am not exaggerating. Pictures of dead people that you never even met. Like, I get the sentiment of that. So I'm like, look, you just need to go through these. Like, you need to go through them and either scan them, get rid of them, something. But I think, you know, for families, pulling out some of those old photo albums, like maybe scanning them in so, God forbid, if something does happen, a flood, a fire, or whatever, you don't have to worry about losing them. And I think when you do that, you'll not only feel better, but you can relive and rekindle some of those memories, and you'll have them in a way that's easily shareable, or you can sort of print out some, you know, digital books from Shutterfly or Google Photos and then put them on the shelf so they're not sitting. Look, it's part of the reason why I'm doing my stuff on eBay, right? Because all that stuff sitting in a bucket isn't doing anybody any good, including me, right? Those photos aren't doing anybody any good because what's going to happen? They'll get moved every time somebody passes or moves, or you just keep moving the buckets and nobody's appreciating what's inside. So I think this is a great opportunity. And look, I think the last thing too is with the extra time that we have, and I don't get it. Becky just said, my husband makes games for a living. I have to suggest Lou is at the buffet game. Why is she so mean to me? All these people that are posting how bored they are, like, it makes me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, I've never said that I was bored, and there's no excuse to be bored. I think what you have now is such a huge opportunity, right? Forget about connecting with family or connecting with friends. Maybe that's not your thing. You have an opportunity now to learn. Like, there's so many free resources. You don't have to spend a dime if you want to learn a language, learn a skill, learn a craft, learn how to woodwork with Jeff Shea, learn how to do knitting or crocheting or play a game or whatever. Like, you've got the thing that we've been complaining that we don't have enough of now, which is time. Like, we're forced to stay inside, and with the people that are here, or if you're by yourself, which you may be by yourself, but you're never alone because we're always here for you. But you've got the internet is such a treasure trove of learning opportunities. There's so many smart people out there that are so giving of things. Like, has anybody decided to take up the challenge of learning something new? Like for me, I'm like, okay, I need to start reading. Like I have all these books that I want to read. Right, I haven't had a chance to do it, but in theory, like I want to learn how to do this. Right, so there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. I just haven't had a chance to do. But is anybody else learning while they're home? Right? What else so William Krapczynski says I just finished another one on Python, Django. Judy loves being home. William's also taking a class on Amazon Web Services, a super amazing skill to have. Carrie Krieger's getting things done with her husband on weekends instead of running errands. Maria, right? Nothing's better than a good clear out of your space. It clears your mind. I feel so much better when I do it. Jonathan Embry's learning how difficult it is to write a TV screenplay, but yeah, man, you've got the time. Marcus Vowell did you talking about the master class with Steve Martin on comedy? I know Bob Iger has one on, I believe it's leadership. And very quick aside. The only comment I want to make is kudos to you, Disney and Disney executives, for voluntarily taking and making a pay cut from the top down, right? And I don't care, whatever it is you think, Bob Iger giving up 100% of his salary and other executives sort of following suit at different scales, like, bravo and brava to all of you. Doing that to make sure other employees get paid, that's how you lead. That's it, man. That's how you lead. That's how you lead. That's because it's one thing to lead. It's another thing to be a leader. Like, they are being leaders. And listen, Bob Chapek, man, you've had a rough go of your first month in this new role, and you too will be stronger and better on the up. It's got to get better after this, Bob Chapek. But I applaud the Disney executives for what they're doing. Judy is learning to play the mandolin. Does learning how to be an online teacher. Shannon King, it absolutely does. And Shannon, you are a special person. And by the way, did I take the? Oh gosh, I don't have it. To everybody who is participating in the WDW Radio Magic Mail, Shannon the Elf, let's just call her Shannon the Elf, came up with this idea for us to not like it's like a Christmas gift exchange, but just with simple letters. Again, this idea of community, like, thank you so much for doing that. I actually have my person's name right here. I'm going to get my letter out in the next day or so to you, so thank you for putting that together. Justin's helping the church with Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. Having a blast learning more how the platforms work along with the equipment and software. Justin, if I can help you anyway, obviously, especially on the Facebook side of things, I'm certainly happy to. Mary Purvis Waco is learning how to improve in basketball from Steph Curry via the masterclass so I can play against your 13-year-old son. I love every second of that. Learning how to write grants for my nonprofit, says Sarah Goff. Let's see. A lot of people are trying to join the game. Chapek does deserve hazard pay. Is the Waffle House open? So Becky did the master class. Working on her ASTA degree, trying to do EMT research. I'm scrolling by so fast. Just in case reinforcements in my area with this virus craziness. Good for you, Becky. Look at you. Look at you contributing to society. Poor Chapek, baptized by fire. Yeah, no kidding. Amanda Cicero is looking for another work certification to further her career. Again, we have the opportunity to make ourselves better, to make our families better, to make our community better. So to all of you who are doing that, so Jeremy Goff, I'm learning how to knit toilet paper. My wife doesn't know why her shirts keep disappearing. All right, so I have one more question for you. Again, inspired by this week's show, and hopefully, who's listened? Raise your hand if you've listened to this show this week. Let me know, and I certainly welcome any feedback. But it's about top 10 Disney heroines, and I struggled with what do I call them? Right? Are they inspiring women from Disney history? Are they inspiring Disney characters? Are they heroines? Are they? And that was sort of the only word that I think encapsulates the not just their journey, but the characteristics that these women and these girls um, um, possess, and more importantly, and hopefully inspire in others, right? Because I think that's what happens. I think, as storytellers, you want to hopefully create not just an emotional response, but a positive trajectory change sometimes. And I think a lot of characters do that. So who either do you agree or disagree with, or who was on your list that maybe we didn't have? Who is your Disney heroine and why? Right? Tell me why. So tweet, obviously, Princess Tiana was the first one. Like, I didn't even think twice about putting Tiana first on the list. And even that's why I put her on. And that's why I chose this image to use for her as opposed to Tiana the princess. That's not the inspiring part of the character. That's the tertiary reward that she got. But I just love her as such a hard-working, she's not just a dreamer. She was actually a doer. Tim Brown says Moana and Tiana, boom, done. They may or may not be on the list. Lot of Moanas in here as well. So Merida, I think we talked about Merida. The movie did not resonate with me, which is why I didn't put Merida on my list. But I think we talked about her in the honorable mentions, that I think Merida is going to be on a lot of people's list. Jeff Coviello, there was certainly discussion of Princess Leia as well as Rey being inspiring heroines and role models for people. And that's why I wanted my daughter to come on, because I think it's one thing as adults to think back to who might be a heroine or a princess. I think it's something else to be a young girl who, well, it's not only fresh in her mind from her earlier years, but right now, who are some of these characters that are inspiring her? Amanda Lecicero, Belle, certainly on the list, right? I mean, again, there's lots of qualities about. So Josh Ramirez, look at that, Cruz Ramirez. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for some of the different or obscure ones that weren't necessarily on the list. So Chris Banas, Cinderella, always came back from being bullied and beaten down. She always found the good. That was one that I thought about Cinderella a lot. And it's not that she didn't make the list. It's just that she was pushed down beyond the 10 because some of the other characters that I felt just had a stronger, inspiring journey, if that was. Queen Amidala says tweet. A lot of Mulan. Certainly Mulan. I'll be very curious to see the live action film without music and without Mushu. But I trust you, Disney. Don says Tiana starts in the bottom, works hard for a dream, hits it big with her own restaurant on the Disney Wonder. Yeah, Don Nicholas, I did. It was a very long and borderline uncomfortable hug, at least probably for her. Michael Goldtrap, I even said earlier, like, I think Atlantis is one of the movies that people need to go back and watch on Disney Plus, because I think it definitely is. It falls off a lot of people's radars very, very easily. Doria's inspiration, says Maria, for Just Keep Swimming. Marcus Val, Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma is from Star Wars. Deborah Buckley, have you listened to the show already? Because Vanellope may or may not make a certain podcaster's list. Hence the King Candy. King Candy, I can't help it. Esmeralda, so I think we might have talked. She was on my honorable mention list, not just because I think she's cute, but I dig her fire. I dig her spunk. She did not make the 10. She did not make my 10 anyway. Is Princess Nancy? I don't know who Princess Nancy. Who's Princess Nancy? Does anybody know who Princess Nancy is? Princess Nancy, a Disney princess. What was the main daughter's name of Stuck in the Middle? Tim Brown. I don't think I've ever seen that either. Clearly, I need to get myself on Disney Plus because I am way behind. Nani from Lilo and Stitch. So Jeff, again, Lilo and Stitch was not my favorite movie. She was one that was in consideration again because she was thrust into the role not just of older sister, but of parent and of teacher, like a lot of people are right now. But because it's not my favorite movie, she just didn't jump onto the list for me. Gabby Naldo, I don't know who Fancy Nancy is. Like, I've heard the name, but I don't know who that is. It's a fun dungeon. A fungeon. I've got to pull up Wreck-It Ralph tonight. Just the King Candy parts. Alan Tudyk. Maybe that's who I need to reach out to. I need to reach out to Alan Tudyk and just interview him about his voice work in Disney stuff. She's like Sophia, Doc McStuffins. If live action movies count, Mary Poppins. So Paul Clark, Mary Poppins was on my honorable mention list. I wanted to put her on my main list, and I struggle with not having her there because, again, I just felt some of these other characters in terms of inspiring. I think what Mary Poppins did for not just the children but the family was remarkable. But it didn't. Yeah, she didn't. I know. I feel guilty saying that. Shuri of Wakanda, Marcus Val on my list. Clearly. Iggy Torres, I know, man. I don't know who Fancy Nancy is. My kids are older. So it's Thamin. Obviously Thamin. I don't know why I keep looking at the door. Because I'm embarrassed when I do my King Candy impression. Let's see. Graydon Nadalin, thank you very much, brother. I will continue to table 20 for Disney Heroines. Becky, so Elizabeth Swann too. Again, the Pirates movies, and again, and this is why I'm asking you guys, because the pirate movies just don't. I love the first one, but it was a huge drop off for me after that. So Black Widow, and I think we talked about Black Widow in our conversation about the Marvel characters. And I won't sort of repeat it because I want all of you to go back. I want you to listen and tell other people about the show. Remember the whole spread the word thing? Subscribe and share and tell other people. That part, yeah. So I want you to listen and I want you to tell other people about it too. I won't spoil for you who else is on the list. Michael Goldtrap, all I will say to you is that not everybody on the list is a character from a Disney film. Just so you know, my original thought for this segment was I wanted to do, for Women's History Month, Legends of Disney Imagineering, female legends of Disney Imagineering. And then I said, I want to do that separately. That's going to be, and then that's why I chose not to include any of the legends in this conversation, because I and probably Jim will get together and do a conversation about some of the female legends, women legends, lady legends, whatever, of Walt Disney Imagineering. So Pepper Potts deserves a huge mention for dealing with Tony. Listen, Pepper Potts is not, she's a little feisty too. So dealing with Tony, that's such a Becky thing to say. I deserve hazard pay for dealing with Lou Mangello, as if you're a walk in the park every day of the week. Love you. Heather Demmett, I was waiting to see if anybody else mentioned Captain Marvel. There is a long conversation that happens about Captain Marvel in this, and hopefully, if and when you listen to the show, I welcome feedback about Captain Marvel, and you will see a certain little lady get very mad about this choice on his list. Uh-oh. Yikes. Scary. Anthony Flacco says Bambi's mother. Another Captain Marvel, Bo Peep. I didn't even think about Bo Peep. Ariel did not make the list. So I will go in the Box People group. I will post the question. I thought I posted it already, but I will make sure I post the question about who it's in there. It's in the Box People. So in the conversation about this week's show, I invite you to share your thoughts about Lou Mangello, about who your favorite Disney heroine is, and more importantly, why. Like, what is it that makes your choice such an important heroine on your list? So, with that, let's see. What else am I forgetting here? I think that's going to do it. So I think what you need to do right now is grab a game, grab your remote, grab some food, and go and enjoy the rest of your evening, whether it be on your own or with your family and friends. Couple of just quick reminders that I ask you not to forget about. Again, eBay auctions begin and end every Sunday night. This week is pretty Star Wars heavy. If you are a Star Wars fan, we've got something that I collected years ago. There's these mini replica lightsabers, which was very difficult for me to part with. But again, better to you guys enjoy them. And then next week we'll have more Disney stuff as well. My Momentum Weekend Workshop in Walt Disney World in October is still going to take place. You can still, and I'll if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. But I do still have the $200 off special going on until April 20th. I could extend that if need be. Thanks to everybody who joined up to the WDW Nation over the past couple of weeks. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. And I look forward to our Nation group call as well. If you're not a member of the Box group on Facebook, please join the community conversation at www.com/community. I'm not going to even bother going on with other plugs, for stuff that I do. All I ask that you do, like I said, is if you like what you hear and if you love this community as much as I do, I hope that you please go invite other people to be a part of it. If there's something that I can do to help you, please let me know, whether it's on the Disney side of things, whether it's on the personal business side of things. I'll be sharing this week. I'm starting a new mastermind group Wednesday nights. So we meet once a week, 6 people getting together to help you work on your business and your brand and your idea. If you don't know what a mastermind is, you can go to LouMangello.com, find out more. So there's a new group forming now that'll be meeting weekly for 6 months to really help you sort of move the needle. And I think that's it. I think that's it for now. Thank you guys so very much. Look, again, we are all in this together. I know it is a difficult, trying, scary, unsettling time. Know that you are not alone. Your family and your community are here. I love you. I appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe and share and spread the word, and choose the good, not just for yourself and your family, but let that be the thing that bleeds over to others as well. So I hope you guys have a great night and a great week. So until next time, see ya. Thank you. I love you guys. You're amazing.
Special events, trivia books, audio tours, and more. Custom Magic Band covers, scavenger hunts, exciting and tough. Exciting and tough. Walt Disney World news. Exciting and tough. I know some people who are watching in the box. They come in costume. They come in their pajamas. Watching in the box. Live broadcast. Thanks. They come in their pajamas. Thanks. Anyway, I am here like I am every week. Disney. They want you to show off your Disney side. Show off your Disney side. Star Wars weekends, man. 24 hours. Not one. kick off, anybody off, in the box, kick, anybody kick off, in the box, Wednesday, broadcasting live Wednesday, and tonight for the first time ever, also simultaneously broadcasting to the mini box. I'm going to need several Dole Whips to keep me going, whatever it may be. WDW Radio, live.com, 407-900-9391. I am Lou Mangello, Star Wars Mangello. I'm going to stay on and chat with you guys for a little while longer. Bring your bathing suit. Until next time, and until next week. But you're saying Lou. You may be saying Lou, and I really do appreciate all the love and the support. All the love. Very much appreciate it. See ya.